Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Terry. Today I am going to do a what sold video on some of the things that I sold while I was out after surgery. And I've added a few most recent sales as well. So this is a part 2 of just some of the things that I sold while I was out. So let's get started with the first item. In my last video, if you had seen that, I had gone to do a Barbie buyout with my son. The prices were kind of high, so we were very selective on what we picked. And so this is one of the Barbies that we had picked. This one is called Groovy's 60s Barbie. This person bought 3 of them. We paid $20 a piece for them, and all 3 of them sold for $120. So we just doubled our money, but they sold very fast. This next item I picked up at an estate sale, and they are the vintage Jack-in-a-Box antenna balls that you put on your car antenna. And I paid $3 for a bag of them. And this lot sold for $34. So look for these. I did actually just pick up some vintage 76 gas station antenna balls, and I haven't listed those yet, but I think those will do even better than these. Here is a lot of 6 books that I got at an estate sale. I paid $12 for the lot, so the books there were $2 each, and I ended up selling this lot for $40. I have not had it listed long, so keep your eyes open for the books. This advent calendar from Tasha Tudor is from 1987. I found it in a garage at an estate sale. It's very beat up, and it still sold. Oh, I paid $1 for it, and it still sold for $40.47. So always keep your eyes open for vintage advent calendars. Here is another die cast that I had picked up at a garage sale. I bought the smaller ones like this one for $5, and they had about 4 or 5 bigger ones that I paid $10 each, and they were all brand new. And so I have sold all of them, but 3 of them I see sitting over there still. And I probably bought maybe close to 13 or 15 of them. So they have sold pretty quickly because I bought these in the middle of summer. So I did pay $5 for this one, and it sold for $85. I love picking up die-cast planes like this. Here is another Barbie that we picked up. We paid $30 for this one. It's called Nifty 50s, and it sold for $60. Here is a Limax lamp set that I paid $2 for at an estate sale, and I just knew they would sell. It's a great accessory. It's brand new, and they sold for $20. Here is a Boise Cascade belt buckle that I picked up at an estate sale for $2, and it sold for $23. This next item is really cool, I think. When I picked it up, I didn't realize how expensive they were. I gathered a bunch of books. I thought they were all around $2 or $5, but when I went up, I realized that these were $18 each. I still picked them up because they were super cool. They're from 1854. It just blows my mind how old books like this are still around. It makes me very happy. This one is Ancient Egyptians, and I paid $36 for both of them, and they sold for $85. This vintage 1960s Sunbeam toaster, I picked up 5 of them. This one was $20, and I didn't get as much money for this as I did for the last one I sold. I think I actually got $175 to $200 for the last one I sold, because this one has somebody's name engraved on the bottom on the side, but it's still sold for $75. These toasters are very cool. They don't have an up and down switch. You just put the toast in and it automatically goes down, and you do have a setting of how dark you want it. So when it's done, it just pops slowly back up all by itself. They are super cool, and it has that real retro look to it. Here's another nifty 50 Barbie that we paid $30 for and we sold for $60. This item is left over from that huge Hallmark Stationery buyout that I did. And I have $1 into this one. This is Mary Hamilton. Keep your eyes open for vintage Mary Hamilton stationery. And it sold for $35. This is kind of a funny item. It is called the Smoking Donkey Cigarette Dispenser. This cigarette actually dispenses out of his bottom. So I paid $2 for this at a garage sale and I sold it for $47. In the description, I put man cave in there along with other things, just so if somebody was looking for something for their man cave, it would show up. Here is a vintage outfit for Barbie. This outfit is called Walking Jamie Barbie. And I picked up a whole bunch of 60s and 70s Barbie clothes, and this was in it. I have $3 into this and it sold for $34. Here is a complete DVD set of the show called House MD. And this is season 1 through 8. I paid $10 for it and it sold for $25. Here is a Monster High doll. I picked up a whole bunch of them for $20 each, and this one sold for $42.47. I think I picked up around 50 or 60 of them, and I probably only have around 5 or 6 of them left. Here is another one of those pairs of boots that I picked up on Whatnot, and I probably shouldn't have gotten them because I paid too much for them, but I did still make a profit on them. I paid $80 for them and they sold for $115. This is not something I would typically do. I thought they were going to sell for a lot more. These Care Bears and blanket have been in my store for quite a while, probably about a year. I picked up these Care Bears at a church sale and I paid $1 each for them. And then this blanket I picked up at Goodwill for $5 and decided to lot them all together. So I have $7 into this lot and it only sold for $33.30. I have no idea how long I've had this Joy perfume, but I only paid $1 for it and it ended up selling for $55. I will not sell used perfume anymore. I know there's still some listed on eBay, and supposedly you're not supposed to sell it anymore in any category, whether it's collectible or not. So I'm not going to risk my store by selling it. So I took down all my used perfume, and this one is new in box with the wrapper still on it. This next item is a cute little Santa snow globe. It's actually Christopher Radko. I'm surprised it didn't sell for more, but the value just wasn't there. I picked it up at a garage sale for $2 and it just sold for $15. So not all Radko will sell for a high dollar. So always look it up. I picked up these bookends from an estate sale. And I don't usually pick up these collectibles like this because I don't know a whole lot about them, but I was able to look them up. They are cast iron and they are coated in brass. And so I paid $10 for them and they sold for $85. These are from 1928, so they're pretty old. I'm glad they sold really well. Here is another one of those big little books. I have been selling these anywhere from probably around $17 on up to close to $100. And some of them just weren't worth that much. I did pay $4 for each one, and this was a higher value one. This one actually sold for $75. So keep your eyes open for these. The ones I have are from the 30s and 40s. I paid $100 for each Pirates of the Caribbean Barbie, and I picked this up at the Barbie lot that we just bought out. And so they had 2 of these Pirates of the Caribbean, so I paid $200 for 2 of them. But this one did just sell for $214. Here is a little miniature Snoopy sleeping bag because I picked up a whole bunch of Snoopy and Belle and Woodstock clothing. And I paid $15 for this one, and this one sold for $35. They have Alienware computers and keyboards and things like that. I think it was a keyboard that I had picked up at an estate sale. It sold very quickly. So look out for those because Alienware does do well. But they also had this cap that I picked up for $1 and it sold for $20. Here's another Barbie that we got from that lot. So I paid $40 for this one. This one is called Peace and Love 70s Barbie. I paid $40 for it and it sold for $90. I love this little figure. I had never heard of it. My son's heard of it, of course. It's called Futurama. And I guess it was maybe a cartoon or a show on TV. This is from 2008. I paid $3 for it and it sold for $65. Do you remember all that film that I picked up? And most of it sold overnight. And it was all expired by around 15 years or more. And I haven't had any returns. Everybody was super happy with it. Well, here's another lot of them. So I had 3 films in each lot and they bought 5 of them. So I have $15 into it because I paid $1 each for each one of these single ones, and they paid $135. Here is another Snoopy outfit. It's 2 of them. These were new in package, vintage, that I paid $12 for, and they sold for $36. You know I love Fitz and Floyd, and I picked this up at an estate sale. It was actually the same estate sale where I picked up all of that Hallmark, that vintage Hallmark stationery. So I paid $7.50 for this. It's a sugar and creamer, and it sold for $49.50. I love picking up books, as you know. So this one is called the New York Social Register, 1972. And I paid $2 for it. It sold for $35. Here is another canning jar book that I paid 50 cents for at a garage sale, and it sold for $20. This is the Ball Blue book. So keep your eyes open for these vintage canning jar books. Here is a coffee table book. It was quite large and pretty heavy. I paid $2 for it. This is a Bob Mackie designer book, and it sold for $36. This is my last item. I picked this up about 3 or 4 months ago. It is a Sony cassette player. I don't think it was ever used before, although over the years it did just get a couple little dings, but I don't think it was ever used at all. I tested it, everything was working, and I'm surprised it didn't sell faster. I paid $50 for it thinking it was going to sell for $200 or $300. And I've actually had a couple people purchase it and then cancel minutes afterward. I'm not sure why, but finally it's delivered to somebody. Somebody picked it up for $125. So that is it for today. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit the thumbs up if you like this video, and I will see you on the next one.